Hello and welcome to day 2 of Fear to Freedom 2022 and beyond. I'm excited today because we are going to be talking about finding freedom, love, and joy right where you are with what you have. Just by me saying that, does that send chills in your body to say, you mean for me to be content with where I am right now? If I look around, I am not around the people that I want to be around. My bank account is not reflecting the kind of lifestyle that I want. If you have a business, my business is not reflecting the kind of business that I have. How could I be content with that? Well, do not worry. That's the reason why I wanted to talk about that today as we prepare and cheerfully walk into 2022 free of fear but full of freedom from 2022 and beyond. Let me just remind you, there is no time like the present where we can find freedom, love, joy right where we are. I'll tell you something. There's a quote that I like by Jean-Paul Sartre, who said people often prefer a very limited, punishing regime rather than face the anxiety of freedom. Which means people would rather struggle and suffer rather than face the courage to be free and to live a life of freedom. Along with the joy of freedom is a fear of the unknown. As I mentioned yesterday, freedom can be both exciting and frightening. The conflict runs deep. When a rabbit runs free, it has to watch for the hawk. People are afraid of dreaming big because guess what? They have to worry about failure. They have to worry about what people would say if that grand scheme of theirs doesn't work. Gandhi said, freedom is not worth having it. It does not include the freedom to make mistakes. So don't be afraid of making mistakes. Step out, fly, even if you get burned, even if you fail. Guess what? You can start again. I like it when Master Zen Dogen laughingly called life, he said, one continuous mistake is life. Yes, there's a fear of looking back. But later, when you review life, he said, you know what? You can look back and say, I don't have any regrets. So sometimes we limit ourselves, our own freedom, because we think it will overwhelm us. We think we cannot do it. We think we don't deserve it. Or maybe sometimes we fear our ego will lead us astray, that we'll get too big for our own britches and then not fly and not get what it is that we're saying we want to get or what it is that we're thinking we want to get. We worry about the unknown. We worry about the what ifs. We restrict ourselves from being too free. Nobody wants too much freedom. So remember this. Everyone stumbles at some point or another. In the ordinary rhythm of life, we falter and then learn from our suffering. Sometimes we worry about our tendency to overreach, to dream way too big. It scares others more than it scares us sometimes. And then we become scared. We become unworthy because we have taken into how others are way more afraid of the way that we dream big. I'll tell you a quick story. I have this big vision board that I've traveled with everywhere that I live, that when people visited me and said, well, we want to see your house, I'll take them around nonchalantly, not even remembering that I have this big vision board that is in my bathroom because I love to take bubble baths. And every time somebody walks in there, they're like, ooh, that's a big house. Why would you want a big house like that? Why would you want to? And all of a sudden now, it scared me out of my own vision and my own dream because somebody else is scared of just looking at the picture that I put of what's in my head and what's in my heart. So be careful of making other people's doubts and fears yours as well. Embrace the fear and go after your heart desires anyway. No one has lived your life before. Your life is an adventure that is worth taking, a step forward and also moving yourself from fear to freedom, especially this upcoming 2022 and beyond. So embrace your life, embrace your vision, embrace your dreams, because if you don't, everybody else will impose their own fears on you. And that's what I mean by you finding the peace, joy, and love right where you are with exactly what you have. That way now you can openly, freely walk into the next best version of you as well as your life. So today's self-reflection question: what matters most in your life? What matters most in your life? Grab your journal, write that question, and let your thoughts just flow and write what comes to mind. Listen, it's worth it to step out of fear into freedom. Let's do it big this time. This is your time. It's your moment. You've got to make up that mind. My name is Dr. Stem. This is day 2. Be encouraged.